morning. Sharon Barron, 4709 Woodlands Boulevard. May I give this to you, Mayor?
No, you may not. Is it a handout of some
Yes,
kind?
can I?
Just give it to the city clerk, and
Yes,
what
I
she'll do
know.
is she'll distribute it to the commission.
Start the clock. Let me give you some background. I'm the president of Section 4 in the Woodlands Country Club. Our section represents 35 homes along the main boulevard. We were never legally part of the WHOA and have no plans to be contractually part of our WHOA. However, if something of common interest needs to be paid for and they ask, our section has made it clear to the president of the WHOA that we will consider it. Back in February, our front entrance sign on Commercial Boulevard was damaged in a car accident. I stayed in contact with the WHOA property manager, Ambassador, to find out when a settlement with insurance would be made to get it fixed. Sadly, 6 months later, we found out very little money was left over after the accident. Not enough to cover the $4,000 bid the management company received to fix it. The WHOA did not want to fix the sign, as that entailed entering into a contract with the city to turn over both the maintenance of the signs and the fountain. So last month, I got a quote to fix the wall myself at a cost of $2,400. That's for the front and the back was very damaged. I brought this to our board, and they asked me to ask our 7 other sections if they would pitch in $192 each. That would be the cost after the $800 insurance was credited. I only heard back from 2 board members, Alvin Enton of Section 6, and I'm mentioning his name because he's watching, and Larry Milgren of Section 7, who said they would ask their boards. I did not receive a single response from 5 board members, and it's been a month since that email. So despite the lack of interest from the other sections, at our annual meeting, our Section 4 board voted to go forward and pay to fix the entrance sign ourselves. However, since our section is not authorized to perform such repairs, as the sign is not even on our common area, remember it's on city property, we decided that we would be willing to give a one-time gift to the city so that they can have the contractor perform these much needed repairs. I wrote to the city manager with our section's proposal, but he refused, citing, as we have discussed previously, the city has been working with the Woodlands HOA for some time, trying to reach a permanent solutions to the issues surrounding the ongoing maintenance of the Woodlands neighborhood signs and fountains. My suggestion is you make the same offer that you've made to your WHOA. Mr. Mayor, I appreciate the city manager's frustration at not getting the sections united to achieve his goal. However, to use our situation as leverage to work out some sort of reconciliation with the WHOA isn't my job, and it isn't my goal. I'm just a resident who is speaking out for the others in our community and trying to get this eyesore fixed in our community. Mr. Mayor, with your okay, my section will once again offer the City of Tamarac a check in the amount of $1,600. This is the amount less than $800 from State Farm. I'm asking if the city will accept this amount so we can get that wall fixed.
Mr. Ernest,
Yes, sir.
would you like to comment on Ms. Barron's request?
Sure, Mr. Mayor. I would comment that the City of Tamarac, some 28 years ago, entered into an agreement with the Woodlands for the maintenance of and repair of a number of what I'll call common area elements all throughout the Woodlands: the signs, the fountain, the canals at that time, the medians and median landscape. And that agreement between the Woodlands and the city expired, I'm going to say approximately 3 years ago. When that agreement expired, the City of Tamarac took back the maintenance of the canals throughout the community, which was fine with us and consistent with the way that we handle canals throughout the rest of the City of Tamarac. At that time, though, we advised the WHOA that it was our intent to enter into a maintenance and easement agreement with them in order that they could have access to their common area elements, which in fact are constructed on city property, specifically the Woodlands fountain and a number of the, at least 2, if not 3, of the entrance signs. Through a number of WHOA presidents and board members, we've still been unable to get them to agree to take responsibility for the common area elements which were originally constructed on the city's property. We are still in the process of trying to get them to do that, and while I certainly understand Ms. Barron in the section that she represents frustration with the inability to get the sign repaired, as you are aware, I think there are a number of neighborhoods throughout the city of Tamarac that have common area elements constructed on city property. Some of those, were done years ago, and the neighborhoods continue to maintain those improvements, and some have had to be repaired or replaced over the years. And when it comes to that time, we work with the homeowners association or the business, whatever the case may be, to provide a maintenance and easement agreement in order that those signs can be properly maintained by the homeowners association or the business, even though they are located in fact on city property. And that's what we've been trying to do with the Woodlands for approximately 3 years. We have been refused by a number of WHOA presidents over the years, and yet we still are working to try to get them to agree to take responsibility for the signage, which in fact is theirs. And I think that Ms. Barron is correct. It is a frustrating circumstance, and it is a very gracious offer that she made, and I don't know why the WHOA would not accept that gracious offer, but apparently they are reluctant to do so.
Thank you for that.
We are offering you the money to just,
Hold on. You have a comment you'd like to make?
What Ms. Barron is saying is she's offering the city the money, so the city can then in turn take care of the sign. And the concern of the community has been that if they do this, there's certain concern about liability. If somebody hits the sign again, are they going to be responsible? If anybody who hits the sign will then come after the homeowners for repair of the sign. There is a disagreement in the law by people who espouse the law about who would be responsible. There is, and it's being researched, I believe, at this time, to show that there is no liability if you paint the sign. You're not doing anything structural to the sign. And I have been told that there's already an agreement between Section 4 and part of the WHOA that knowing that the city is not going to accept this offer because it's been advised that the city cannot step into this responsibility role to be the escrow agent for these funds, and this will be maintained and handled by the sections, and Section 4 does not mean permanent responsibility. It just means that you're taking responsibility right now just to pay that contractor to maintain this sign. I've already been told that's in place. If this is not true, then that's what
the sign is structurally broken in the back.
It is not structurally broken. It has been inspected. It is not structurally broken, because if it was, my understanding that this sign does not meet code. And if it is structurally broken, the sign would have to come down and the whole thing would be starting all over again, and the community would be without a sign. So it is not structurally broken. It doesn't look good. It's got some more plaster than has been removed, I guess. We don't know if somebody's been picking at it or not, but it is not structurally unsound.
So the WHOA said that we won't be sued for if we fix this sign. Will they hold indemnity on the sign?
Nobody is going, if somebody hits a sign, just like what's happened before, when the person ran into the guy who hit the sign, the community was not sued. It actually got hit twice. Our Knockwood, our community has not been sued over it. So if it's painted as it was done once before, without any agreement in writing, without anybody having any liability written out or indemnified, no one got sued. If the sign gets painted, it gets painted. If it doesn't, it's going to look like an eyesore. But this is the conversation we've had before, and I know that the community doesn't like the answer, but it's not the city's responsibility to maintain community signs.
We're not asking the city to maintain the sign. We're paying for the sign.
Or do the work for the sign. I understand we're going to pay
We're not
for it.
asking you to do the work. We're just paying you, but thank you anyway.
Okay, thank you for that. Is there anybody else who would like to speak to any issue that is not on the agenda this